Hey folks, I wanted to take the time to tell you guys a little bit more about my practice. And most importantly, um, what do I do and why do I do it? I mean, a lot of you guys have seen maybe content on Electrons Plus, content on RevInMo. Maybe you know that I'm a naturopathic physician. Maybe you know that I focus on physical medicine, sports medicine. Guess what? All physical medicine, sports medicine practitioners, they have their own tools. These are the ones that suit me. So I'm going to tell you why, the purpose behind why I use these tools. And a lot of it has to do with the fascial system in our body. Basically, this connective tissue that suspends our organs, surrounds muscles, and is intertwined in between muscles. It's everywhere. It's omnipotent. It's the white stuff that if you were ever in anatomy class that you just cut away because you thought it was unimportant. Well, guess what? It's actually hugely important. And one of the tools that I use in manual therapy is something called stecco-fascial manipulation. This is a form of fascial manipulation that was founded in Italy by the Steccos. That's the family name. Um, and they break the body down into 6 planes of movement, which it's pretty common. Moving forward and backwards along the sagittal plane, medial, lateral, and then rotation, internal and external rotation. Those 6 planes of movement, and throughout those planes of movement, you can have over years of repetitive movement, over years of reinforcing a certain posture. We end up getting these what we call densifications throughout our fascial system. Basically, if you imagine my shirt as my fascia, it densifications where it's bound up and it's tight, right? If it's bound up and tight right here, you can immediately see all the tension lines that result. So that was kind of the basis of how I work with the body, is working with that fascial system. We find those spots that are densified and tight, and we work them out. Boom. And we clear it out, no more pain, improved function, so on and so forth. That's all fine and dandy. I took it to the next step by when I learned about revolution in motion. I actually found out about both Stecco and RevInMo at the same time. And I use revolution in motion in exactly exactly the same principles, is that I am looking at these fascial lines throughout our body, right? And seeing where we're hindered, where we're impaired. And you know what? Everybody is unique to themselves, but they also have pretty common patterns depending on your specific movement. So, like, let's say, for example, I coached CrossFit for 7 years. I was in that community for a while. And within CrossFit, you get a lot of this forward backwards movement in the sagittal plane. We think about sit-ups, we think about clean and jerks, toes to bar, so on and so forth. It's mostly in this forward and backward plane. And for me personally, when I was working out significantly in CrossFit and I found about revolution in motion, my 2 other lines were planes of movement were compromised, if you will, this rotational plane and the medial and lateral plane. So when I started doing RevInMo, that was what was so tight, that was what was so densified. And I didn't even need to have to necessarily use manual therapy to get rid of these fascial densifications. I was able to impart what Dr. Edith Hoy says, fascial remodeling through therapeutic exercise, through revolution in motion. That's why a lot of times, if you see me talk about RevInMo, everybody says, "What is RevInMo?" And I'm like, man, how do I want to start? Because it has the vestibular component, because it has the neurologically stimulating component, but most importantly, it has that fascial component too. You probably see me do the moves, or you do them yourselves, and you're like, oh, I feel that stretch, I feel that burn, whatever. It's actually us being able to directly remodel our fascia, right? We are able to find those densifications through movement assessment, through putting someone through a series and see what's stuck, what's not. Hey, let's focus on the stuff that's stuck, because that's where our weak link is. That's where we're not moving well, right? And if we continue not moving well in that area, again, we're going to be compromised in everything else. So, just kind of talking a little bit today. To sum it up, I use hands-on manual therapy techniques if I need to get out of those densifications faster. If I need to find those and eliminate those. I also use Electrons Plus, which is a great tool to help do that. But then I really hone in and reinforce that with revolution in motion, because ultimately mobility is a foundation of health, right? how you move well in space and time, if you move well in space and time, and being able to maintain that not only serves to continue protecting our body, but also continue strengthening and protecting our mind as well. So that's what I got for you guys today. Hope you enjoy, and I'll catch you next time.